Welcome to Monday Night Rants on the Better Sports Network. What is going on, everybody? Somebody has a case of the Mondays. Well, that's the way the cookie crumbles. And, well, Bob's your uncle. Rants on the Street with Thomas Stevens. Shout out to my producer, Tyler Heavy T. Soto. Boom. Yes, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Monday Night Rants on the Better Sports Network. That's at Better Network at all your favorite social media platforms. And at Fancy Alarm at all your favorite social media platforms as well. What a doozy of a matchup we had tonight on Monday Night Football. That's right. The 3-8 Chicago Bears against the Minnesota Vikings, who, without Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins, have put together quite a run to get into playoff contention here. However, currently losing 3-0 here. And what's been a pretty interesting first quarter and a half of football. More on that as we go on. I am sweating, by the way. Absolutely sweating. I know what you're saying. Everyone didn't take off the jacket. No. I'm sweating because this could be the week that I get kicked out in the Guillotine League. I know, my fellow ranters. I thought I could go all the way, but boy, was I wrong. Currently, I am behind Team Freitas by, I'm looking at it right now, 11 points. He is done. I need DJ Moore to have a game. He got 2 receptions for 9 yards on the first drive, and nothing says. So, I need about 11 points, or 12 points or so here from DJ Moore. Heavy T will do DJ Moore watch tonight. By the way, joining me as always tonight, and always forever, if you will, my boy, your boy, everyone's favorite lovable teddy bear who likes to yell sometimes. Most of the time. Tyler Heavy T. Soto. That's right. So we'll keep you updated with the game as well. We could have a eulogy if I go out. We probably won't tonight because it's that close between me and Team Freitas. We will have one, however, most likely next week. And it could be me. And I can't wait to see what Heavy T has in store for my eulogy when I'm finally eliminated from the Monday Night Rants Guillotine League here. It's going to be something special. That is for sure. Hey, if you were watching last week already in the chat, Chaka, what's going on, man? He has a trade question. You still have trades going on here. It must be a dynasty. It has to be. Or just late trade deadline. Some leagues do. Would you trade Thielen, Achane, and Javonte for Chase and Jacobs? 3 wide receiver PPR league. My current receivers are also inconsistent, and my other running backs are Kamara, Hall, and Kyron Williams. Yeah, you could afford to do that, especially because I think Kyron Williams is going to be a fantasy winner this year. It's a redraft league, great. Man, let me tell you what. Javonte Williams hasn't shown me. He's been pretty consistent when he's healthy and playing this year. But his ceiling isn't very high. His floor is nice. Thielen, man, we saw last week. We'll see with a new coaching change. More on that later. And can he stay healthy? Is that knee still going to bother him? And you only get Chase back with Browning throwing him the football. Hasn't been great since then. But you get Jacobs, who, he's a running back one. But you're so good with the Kamara, Hall, and Kyron there in running backs. Does Jacobs do anything? Can you play Jacobs too? I don't think you can. I mean, you have to bench one of those guys, right? You would probably play Jacobs over Hall, but I don't know, man. That's a tough one for me. I would probably do it to get Chase, but Thielen has been consistent up until recently. And again, I'm a little worried about Achane's knee, man. I just don't think he's going to be that, 3 straight weeks of 20 plus fantasy points the rest of the year with that knee injury. I think it's lingering a little bit. It showed he didn't play this last week on Black Friday. Javonte, you don't need. I think they're going to get more packages for Chase, though, with Browning, those short packages for Yak. I would actually do that trade. I would take Jacobs and Chase. I would trade them away because you're so loaded on running backs already to try to get Chase. I think Chase will still end up being better than Thielen when it's all said and done by the end of the year. So go ahead, my friend Shaka. You go ahead and do the trade. Do it. That's right. All right. And by the way, Heavy T gave you a hell yes, do the trade. He gave you a hell yeah. What's this?
Hell yeah.
Do that trade, my friend. Hopefully. Yeah, Thielen scares me too. I mean, especially they're in rebuild and it's tough because the coaching change, like that franchise as a whole in Carolina is going to be in trouble for a very long time. Let me tell you that. More on that later, though. Stay tuned to the show. I have a whole segment just on the firing of Frank Reich. So we'll have to catch that up as we go. We do have some bets. If you followed us last week, if you watched the show last week, yeah, that a boy, Chaka. You do your thing, my friend. If you followed the show last week, we had some bets that they all hit again. Like we do these late night Monday night bets on NBA, college basketball, crushed. Just like we've been doing here for a while. Our college football bets, me and Heavy T, we're up just under 70% this year. Absolutely crushing. It's sad that college football is coming to a close here, but exciting because this is one of the best college football years we have seen in a long, and I mean very long time. And we're going to have Heavy T will join me later on the show. You get to see his pretty face, and we're going to give our picks for the championship matchups this weekend coming up in all the big conferences. And then we're going to give our Final Four picks, college Final Four in football. Heavy T says he's putting on his makeup now. And we're going to give you our picks who we think will be in the college football playoffs, which is, I think, it's going to be one of the best we've ever seen. And by the way, any one of these top 6 teams right now in college football can win this thing this year. Georgia's not a given like it was last year. Not even close. It's going to be absolutely crazy. But I do have some picks here tonight real quick. We got a big NBA game tonight. I want to get, shout out to NBA. Thomas Stevens will be here later. We'll talk a little NBA before we do Rants on the Streets as well. It'll be a lot of fun, as we always do, what's going on in the NBA. Some weird things going on with the Magic. Absolutely dominating. It's crazy. But tonight we have a big game. And the Denver Nuggets are in LA against the Clippers, who have finally got it together. And I mean finally got it together here after the James Harden trade, which, I loved. Hate-loved, if you would. But interesting tonight is this line movement here. It's minus 10.5 Clippers, but there's a reason for that. The injuries on Denver have really started to take a toll. Ever since they lost Jamal Murray earlier, around early November, they haven't been playing as well as we thought they would. And we know they're deep, but tonight they're without the Joker, they're without Aaron Gordon, and they're without Jamal Murray. So that's why the spread is so high towards the Clippers. And the Clippers are playing full lineup minus Plumlee. So minus 10.5 here. And the Clippers just took care of the Dallas Mavericks the other night. They're starting to play better basketball. I do look at this minus 10.5. Still a little worried because the Clippers are one of these teams that when they play against good teams when healthy, play hard and good. But when they play against these teams or the Denver Nuggets tonight without 4 of their 5 starters, where they should win handily, they always seem to choke it down. Now, I'm not saying I'm taking the Denver plus 10.5 right now. What I'm really looking at is the total on this one at 217. I think that's too high for me, especially 2 defensive-oriented teams and coaches. My pick tonight for this game is not taking the Clippers minus 10.5, which would be my lean, but I feel more comfortable taking the under of 217, so we'll see how that plays out. Now, there is one good college basketball matchup tonight. We did hit the under on the Marquette game last week, so we're going to go ahead and go right back to the well again, not on Marquette, but we're going to another under I like. By the way, this is the show of unders. Unders hit at an incredible rate, especially in almost all sports the last year or so. I really want to do a science experiment where I just take $1 and put it on all the unders for like a week straight on every sport and see where they all hit, because I have a feeling, because everyone loves the over. They love the explosive games, right? They want to see points. They want to see excitement. But even when I look at people on Twitter or X, whatever it's called nowadays, they always see it's over, and maybe they'll sprinkle one under in. But under is hitting in the NFL this year. Under on totals is the highest it's been in 20 years. In college football, the same. You have unders you've never seen. Iowa had the lowest under of all time at 23.5 this last weekend, and it hit. And they've hit this record low unders for like the last 7 weeks. It's insane. So I look at unders as like a opportunity when I see these trends to actually get them to hit for you in order to, win some money. So tonight we have a game that I love the under in. It is Utah, the Utes, at St. Mary's. The spread is -4.5 towards St. Mary's there, at 63% of the public is on that. I like that. I don't like the 63% of the public. I like the under in this game at 134.5. I think this game goes under. The total for both these teams have been under, and already they played 6 games apiece, or 6 games for St. Mary's. It's been under in 4, and Utah's played 4, it's been under in 2. So I'm taking the under of 134.5 on the Utes at the St. Mary Gales tonight. Those are my 2 picks, both unders, which is non-traditional here, but I like both those after doing my research. All right. Well, we already had a fantasy question. I think it's a win for Chaka, my boy Chaka. We've already had some people in the, that's random. Okay, cool. I don't know what's going on with my new computer setup. I get random just emojis just floating around my head. It's insane. That's how awesome. It was so awesome that Restream and YouTube decided to give a thumbs up to. Love it. And we got Wade Tavares, as always, a fellow ranter himself out there. What is going on, ranters? Welcome to the show. It's time for the rant lines. We already previewed it. We already talked about it earlier on when we got the trade question about the Thielen and the Panthers. But today, the big news out of the NFL, and it was a coach firing. And I got excited because I woke up, I checked my phone, I said, oh, an NFL coach was firing. Yes, it's finally the day. Not for us Chargers fans. No, it was Frank Reich. Now, this Panthers team is in absolute, and I mean absolute disarray. They're completely and utterly not set up for long-term success. Bryce Young is not set up for long-term success. But if someone like me knows going into the season that CJ Stroud is the better quarterback, how do they not know that? They literally, okay, look at it like this. The Panthers traded away DJ Moore, probably Caleb Williams or Drake May, because their first round pick goes to the Bears, to draft Bryce Young, who isn't as good as CJ Stroud, who isn't as good as, I don't know, Levis maybe? He doesn't look impressive at all. He's undersized. He's the lightest quarterback in the NFL. He has pretty decent accuracy, but the receiving core is absolute garbage. The Tepper, the owner of the Panthers, is an absolute, and I mean absolute, how do I say this lightly? Idiot. It's like he made just enough money to buy an NFL team and doesn't know what to do with the NFL team. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the first person that says, man, I have all this money. What am I going to do with it? I'm going to buy this Ferrari, but I've never driven a car. Well, here we are. So it's the second coach in 2 years, not even really given a chance. You flubbed the draft. You're complaining about the offense. He told Frank Reich a week ago, I need to see more from the offense. What do you expect with this offense? Obviously, Miles Sanders was a system running back in Philadelphia. He's not looked good at all. Chuba Hubbard's your main running back, and you got a 30-something plus year old Thielen as your top receiver. I can't even name another one. Mingo, there you go, a rookie that wasn't even one of the top rookies in the draft. So what does Tepper expect here from Frank Reich? Like, what is he trying to do? This could be the end of Frank Reich's career. Probably is. And it won't even be a full season here after, again, a new coach, a new year. I don't know what to tell you here. I think how many coaches has the Panthers have now in the last 4 or 5 years? A lot. This team is in torment. So it's not even Frank Reich's fault. It's the owner's fault in this situation for allowing your team to go in these situations. And now poor Bryce Young has to go into a new regimen with new coaches who didn't even want him. Looking at Tepper as an owner and saying, man, maybe you're a pretty bad owner. Another owner that I don't like is the Chargers owner, Spanos. I mean, he's a bad owner too. This may be worse. The Chargers are a little set up more for success in the future. A lot more. But this Carolina team is going to be bad for a very, and I mean very, long time. And nobody, I mean, people will obviously want the coaching job for the, because they want to coach in the NFL. But it's going to be someone new. It's not going to be a face you've seen before, because nobody with experience in head coaching in the NFL would ever take this job. It's gross. Speaking of head coaches that I hate. All right. If any of you saw the game last night, which I'm sure a lot of people did, because the NFL decided to show us that wonderful game. Can we flex these schedules already? Are we sick of the Chargers? I'm sick of the Chargers. I'm a Chargers fan. Brandon Staley. I said this last week, and I'm going to say this again. And I'm going to be honest with you. As far as head coaches go, I'd rather have Frank Reich. I really would. If I'm a Chargers fan, I'd be like, Frank Reich could be better than Brandon Staley. Brandon Staley is literally the worst coach in the NFL. The worst. He is the worst coach in the NFL. It's not even close. This dude couldn't even coach a Power 5 conference team in college. He has no grit. He has no leadership skills. Who would want to follow this guy into battle? Nobody. To be a head coach, you have to have that leadership mentality. That mentality of, I want to win and you want to win. Let's go. I look at Dan Lanning for the Oregon Ducks and go, this guy has leadership. This guy can take a team, and when he talks, they all listen. When Brandon Staley talks, are they all listening? I don't think so. This is a guy who gave Dean Spanos a game ball because they made the playoffs last year just to be embarrassed in the second half against the Jaguars. This guy, this Chargers team has no grit. And then he went last night on the stand after and said, well, close games build character. Yeah, but you lose close games because you're not a good coach. You're not a good coach, dude. The reason why you're losing these close games is because you don't know how to finish them, because you don't know how to coach. It's that easy. You didn't know how to coach against the Jaguars in the second half with a 27-point lead. You didn't know how to coach against the Ravens last night. I know the refs let you down early on, and that should have been a touchdown on that first drive, or at least a penalty against Justin Herbert. It didn't happen your way. But you're arrogant because I still want to call the defense. I'm a defensive play caller. You were gifted that Rams team. You were gifted that defense, and you're gifted the most expensive defense in the NFL, by the way, for the Chargers, and made them the third worst defense in the NFL, second in points per game. You are not a NFL coach. And I don't know why the Chargers don't even Spanos just didn't let him go. He's still there. He must have pictures of someone doing something. I'm telling you this right now. This guy, I wouldn't want to fight for him. I wouldn't want him to lead me in battle. Division 2 at best. Rex Ryan said it best. He also said his wife could coach better than Brandon Staley. Kind of agree. Get on with it. How many more weeks are we going to watch this? This Chargers team with all this talent do nothing. Do absolutely have no grit, have no energy, no fight. Even the Bears right now are showing fight at 3-6 with Eberflus. Even the Arizona Cardinals are showing fight. The Chargers last night, straight stale. Lee. Yeah, that's a dad joke too, kind of mixed in. There you go. What's up? Say something. Ooh, speaking of woos. Talk about the Bills. Do they have an overtime problem? Does Josh Allen have an overtime problem? By the way, that was the greatest game of the weekend, by far, maybe one of the greatest games of the season so far this year. Evening on the East Coast. My time, afternoon. What a game. But this Bills team has an overtime problem. They really do. And the Bills, for the most part of the game, up until that point, outplayed the Eagles. Looked like the better team. They had over 500 yards of offense. They held Hurts to 200 passing yards? It was absolutely no reason they should have lost that game. But then the Eagles did what they do, and they got to overtime. You're thinking, okay, momentum, right? Momentum. Which way does it shift? Well, the Bills got the ball first. Okay, here's your chance. We've seen this before. All playoffs. Terrible, I wouldn't say call. I wouldn't say that was all Gabe Davis's fault, really. It was flabbergasting to see that, because that would have ended the game. It would have been game over. The Bills would have won, but it just wasn't meant to be. A familiar story, by the way. And by the way, Josh Allen, I don't know if you know this. Josh Allen, in his career, is 0-5 in overtime games. That's right. To make it worse, because of that loss and that blunder with Gabe Davis, they're at 6-6, the 10th seed in the AFC. What are the odds they make the playoffs now? Whew. Has to be rough, right? What are the odds? It's a tough AFC. And it's so tough that we thought few teams would run away with it. It is scrambled. It is absolutely scrambled. And I don't know why. The Chargers are still in the hunt after last night. So I get out of here with that. That's not going to happen. But do the Bills not make the playoffs this year? Are the Bengals not going to make the playoffs this year? What teams are going to make the playoffs this year? If you look at the current playoff picture now, it is, and I mean absolutely, insane. Did anybody have, and I mean anybody, after the injury to Anthony Richardson, have the Colts in the playoffs right now? The Browns with no Deshaun Watson in the playoffs right now. The Steelers with no offense. Well, they did better after the Canada firing, but in the playoffs right now. And did you have the Baltimore Ravens being the number 1 seed in the AFC right now? You did not. You could lie. I won't believe you. Because you didn't. The picture in the playoffs right now is absolutely insane. And I love it. It's the same reason why I loved the college football season this year is because, there's all these undefeated teams and, they're doing their thing, but not winning by as much as they normally would. But for the most part, it's very intriguing to see. The Ravens are number 1. The Chiefs are number 2. Okay. The Jaguars 3. We thought they would be better. They are close, although the Texans almost had a lot to say about that. Doink. The Dolphins, okay. The Steelers, Browns, and Colts. Outside looking in, the Texans and Broncos are over the Bills. The Bengals, I think they're done. The Raiders are still in it at 5-7. And then you got we won't talk about the Chargers, but I'm telling you, the Bills are in trouble here. If you look at the schedule, it is rough. Over on the NFC side, The Eagles are the best team in the NFL. No doubt about that. They proved it 2 weeks in a row, right? They just beat the Chiefs. They just beat the Bills. The two teams everyone thought were the AFC's best. There you go. They're the best team in the NFL. The 49ers have put it together. The Lions. Interesting with the Lions because just when you think you know, you don't. When that blunder on Thanksgiving to the Packers, who, by the way, are in playoff contention. If the Vikings lose tonight, they'll go to 6-6. And a win by the Packers next week will put them in the final spot in the playoffs. The Packers. Insane. The Seahawks are holding on to a dear life there at 6-5 at the end. But what I hate, and I would have maybe asked Heavy T about this, is that the Falcons are the 4th seed at 5-6. Get out of here with that. You got the Eagles, the 49ers, the Lions, the Falcons, all the division winners, the Cowboys, Vikings, and Seahawks, and the Packers and Rams and Saints are all looking in. Big win for the Rams. This Arizona team with Kyler Murray is a lot better. So, love to see this. Chaos. I love chaos. Chaos is great because I get something to rant about. You know what I mean? I'm getting a lot of negative vibes from someone in yelling distance right now. I don't know what that means, but we'll take it. Just give me those negative. We'll turn those negativities into positivities there real quick. A couple of injury notes here real quick. I know we're running behind, and I do want to talk about MLB. If not, we can talk about it next week as we're getting free agency starting to roll. Aaron Nola, a big contract. Sonny Gray today. The Japanese pitcher. A lot going on there we'll talk about. But some injuries here. Note, what do you do with Aaron Rodgers? Does Aaron Rodgers, if he's healthy enough and gets his... By the way, the funniest thing that came out today, Aaron Rodgers has to get a doctor's note to play. I hope he does. That's fun. Okay. But the Jets should just shut it down and work to next year. I don't see him doing that as well. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, concussion. In comes P.J. Walker. Nothing to see here. Their Spider-Man meme. Looks like concussion's been a lot harder to come back from this year, especially a weekend. I think you'll see P.J. Walker next week for Cleveland. Justin Jefferson, obviously missing this game. They do have the late bye next week. I think he's going to come back, especially if they win this game. Even if they lose, they're still in playoff contention. I think you'll see Justin Jefferson back finally at 100% after the bye, by the way. Big for your fantasy playoffs. Olave concussion. Again, the turnaround on concussions this year have not been good. I think he's going to miss next week. And luckily be back, hopefully by they have the Lions next week, which is a tough matchup for them. No Olave. This team, by the way, they also lost Williams. They lost Shaheed. Their injury, and obviously Michael Thomas. This is a really decimated team of injuries right now. All they can handle. And if Olave is gone, him and Kamara are the two best players on that offense, they're going to have a tough sledding to try to make that playoff run and get back to the top of the under 500 NFC South there. Amari Cooper absolutely annihilated on a play by PJ Locke. Looks like it was his ribs. X-rays were negative. Don't know about week 13 against the Rams, but hopefully he can come back and be okay. PJ Walker seems to be better at throwing the football than Dorian Thompson-Robinson, so hopefully if you're depending on Amari Cooper where you drafted him, he gets a little bit of more play there. The biggest one that I read today of injury news coming to next week is it looks like Dallas Goedert will come back for the Eagles. He's going to push to play. However, it's against the 49ers. Whew. Man, the Eagles, talk about this Eagles stretch. The Eagles just played the Chiefs. They just beat the Bills. Well, they beat the Chiefs, beat the Bills, and then they go play the 49ers. If they beat the 49ers, if they win those 3 games in a row, they're already by far the best team in the NFL. That is the most impressive thing you could possibly do in the NFL this season. That is going to be crazy. But Goddard looks like he's pushing to come back, and it looks like he may. It's really realistic, but more realistically is he'll miss this game against the 49ers, and he'll be back against the Cowboys the week after. Also impressive, this Eagles schedule, and they're winning. So we'll see. They just beat the Chiefs. They just beat the Bills. and now they got 49ers Cowboys next. However, when playoff comes, then the Super Bowl is a whole different game. So we'll see how it all plays out. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break here. It looks like I haven't seen anything from DJ Moore, so I'm getting a little nervous here that I am going to be... Oh, whoa, he caught some more passes. He's 5 for 42. During the break, I'll have to do a DJ Moore count and see where I'm at and how many more I need to not get kicked out of the Guillotine League, because it's DJ Moore or nothing, my friends. It's DJ Moore or nothing. We're going to talk a little baseball free agency, but we'll save that for next week as more and more stuff comes out. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Thomas Stevens is here. We're going to be talking some NBA, and we're going to do the rants on the street as we always do, the 5 questions that you ask on Instagram and all your favorite social media platforms at Better Thomas, and I get to answer them live on the show and give out a free hoodie to who I think has the best question of the night. After the break, Rants on the Street with Thomas Stevens. Boom.
From the Hometown Hero series, Zach Parise.
That is a very nice card, and that's one I'm probably have to organize a little trade ski with you, because I would actually like that card.
You got downtown Newark in the background. I mean, Newark has never looked so good.
No, it is not.
We'll put that back up on the screen. I just want to have a penny sleeve ready, and yes, we can absolutely work out a little trade ski for that, because that belongs in a Devil Fans collection right there.
I'll trade you the Braden Schneider rookie card for it.
Done.
There we go. The first card-for-card trade on Rip and Riff history. And it was that easy.
It was that easy. That's because, you know what? Because neither one of us are jerks. And it's the same thing when we try and do fantasy trades. Like, we don't try and screw each other. We have conversations. If there's a fit, there's a fit. If it's not, it's not. We don't try and, like, take the other one over the barrel. So there you go. In a penny sleeve. Hometown hero, Zach Parise. He was among the league's most productive goal scorers in 06-07 and followed up with a terrific regular season with an even more impressive postseason. And then they talk about what he did in the first round series against Tampa Bay that year. So that's off to the side for you.
That's true. And, if this is it for his career, he had a hell of a career.
He did.
Hopefully he comes back one more year with the Islanders, but if he doesn't, hell of a run.
Woo! It was seriously hot in here. I had to take out that jacket, man.
You just ran a mile.
I was starting to sweat. My wife put on the heater, and I was like, man, I got to go get this off, turn the heater down. I'm like going crazy in here. Welcome back to Monday Night Rants on the Better Sports Network. Joining me, as always, every Monday night is Thomas Stevens at Better Thomas on all your favorite social media platforms. What do you think of this 3-3 exhilarating game between the Bears and the Vikings as it stands?
Another great primetime game. That's what I think. I haven't even turned it on for not 1 second. I do have the over on DJ Moore's receiving yards. So
I need that to stay alive in the Guillotine League here.
I heard. So we'll keep track on that. But I bet lightly on this game. I knew
I'm 5 points away. I need 5 points in the second half to survive.
You should be all right. But just keep it a passing script, That's the big thing. Keep it a passing script. And it should be. It should be this close, BS all game long. So you should be all right.
Look at that. Fields is 17 for 22 for 135 in the first half here.
Yeah, dude. I took his pass completions at 17.5. This guy's got 17 at half. I was a little worried about that.
Absolutely insane. And a lot of it is running. Like Johnson, Roshan is 4 for 40.
Yeah. Leo Herbert
Meta 6, 2 and for 14 for Herbert. Yeah, so he's I wouldn't say he's spreading the ball around, especially for Darnell Mooney owners out there, but he's doing his thing. So we'll see what happens. Not very exciting so far. If you like defense, though, 2 interceptions for the Bears defense against the Pastronaut, if you will. Ooh, I feel so much better. I was sweating, dude. That whole last 5 minutes, I'm just like, boom.
You got
my glasses were getting. Oh yeah, you got to be comfortable when you're doing these things, especially when you're talking to my fellow ranters out there. Doing all that fun stuff.
They can see you sweating.
Probably my glasses start fogging up, and I'm like, I gotta take the jacket off. So the NBA currently, the game tonight, I The spread scares me because the Clippers are the Clippers. And even though it's 10.5 and there's no Joker, there's no Murray, obviously he's been out for a few weeks, and no Aaron Gordon. It's going to be the Michael Porter Jr. show, apparently. The 10.5 still scaring me because the Clippers tend to play down to the competition. I took the under.
I like that.
I do like the under of this game. What are your thoughts here? We talk really high on the Denver Nuggets, but obviously ever since the Murray injury, when we talked about how loaded they are, they haven't been as good as we thought they were. So losing him was obviously a huge aspect
for sure.
to the team. And now no Joker, they say back, but I think it's rest. Let's be real.
Give him one night, at least one.
Yeah, that's the end. That's the NBA for you. Are you a little more nervous now, seeing all the injuries and how they play without Murray, than you were probably at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm definitely a little more worried. Not so much because they aren't the same team, right? You know, Jamal Murray was a huge factor. We all knew that. We saw that when Jamal had the ACL tear. They weren't the same team when Jamal Murray wasn't there. You know, so I expected the downfall. What I'm a little more surprised of is the depth not showing up. I think that kind of surprised me a little bit because one of the biggest things that me and you always say about the Denver Nuggets is they're deeper than any other team, and you know they're coached well, and you know next man up mentality. That's not what I'm seeing. I will give them the benefit of the doubt because they are kind of thin at point guard, where you have, I mean, only Reggie Jackson really stepping into that slot, but everyone else is not really stepping up. Aaron Gordon has been okay. He's been okay. There's not so much Aaron Gordon can do offensively, so I understand it. But, I mean, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, you need to make more. I mean, the points haven't really been there. The points need to go up. You're a shooter, shoot more shots. Jokic is right now getting triple-teamed every night, and he's still putting up godly numbers, you know. But there's just it's going to be worrisome, you know, playing the good teams when you don't have that Jamal Murray and Jokic absolutely just killing teams. So it does worry me a little bit, you know, a tiny bit.
Especially when they're still undefeated at home, I believe. Yeah, they are. They're 8-0 at home. Damn. So on the road, they're 3-6. And tonight in LA, does it look like it's going to get better? I still think it's going to be a closer game than 8.5, but I think it's going to be under.
I like that underplay. I do. I like that underplay
for sure.
One thing I will say really quick though is Michael Porter Jr. with Jamal Murray out. The game has to change, you know, like the way he plays, which is like the catch shoot. It works when you have Jamal and Jokic because there so much attention's on them that those are good shots. That catch and shoot is a good shot. You now need to ball handle. You need to control the ball. You need to, you know, off the pick and roll.
That's
pull
scary.
Up, whatever it is. And exactly. That is frightening. I think that is one thing, if that comes to my mind, that, you know, could be worrisome for the Nuggets while he's out. You don't have another primary ball handler, you know, that put the ball in the hole. So
they got Christian Braun.
There you go. I like the guy. He's hustles. He'll slash on you. He'll dunk on you. But I do think Reggie Jackson actually has a decent night tonight. Little revenge factor.
Yeah, the revenge narrative is there for sure. Although you can say that about Reggie Jackson in almost every game now.
Yeah.
Same with Patrick Beverly. He has he's played for every team, so every night's a revenge game narrative.
Yeah. That is a fact.
All right. Any other obviously NBA questions, so I don't want to.
Yeah, there's a team I would say, but there's a question about him. Other than that, I'm trying to think. Is there anything that pops out to you? Are you
Not really. I think it's all kind of here we are. Like the Clippers are finally starting to put pieces together here to play better. The Rockets are still surprising for me. They're at 8-6.
I agree with that.
And I'm looking at the Warriors, and I don't know, man. I think
it's gonna get rough.
I'm worried.
I don't see the pathway of it getting better.
No team no one's really talking about here, though, in the West is the Pelicans, really. They kind of been quietly just doing their thing. They're one game over 500. They're in the play-in spot. But when they're all healthy with McCollum and Zion and everything.
Though the team, I mean, the starting
Brandon Ingram.
It's a solid starting five,
Yeah, so they're a little dangerous, kind of a quiet sleeper there. I've been kind of looking over and putting more bets on recently, and I totally forgot about them as a team in the beginning of the year. And now I was like, okay, wait a minute, they're hitting their overs, their spreads, and I'm like, okay, so winning me a little bit of money lately. So I like this Pelicans team going forward and have a really good shot to make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's all health for sure.
So real quick, we'll switch over to the NFL before we get in there. I want to ask you about your Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously, they finally blamed Canada and got rid of it.
We do have a question about the quarterback, so I don't want to go. I don't want to, you know what I mean? I don't want to do too much.
Okay.
But I got you, though. I mean, I will touch on it a little bit. I think
I love Mitch Trubisky questions.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, how about a little Mason Rudolph questions? No, but I think I will say one thing, and we'll go off it. Middle of the field action was the biggest thing for me. I haven't seen that, not just this year. The year before.
Unleash Pat Fryermuth.
Exactly.
Wow. Yep.
Yeah, something called a tight end in nowadays NFL actually works very, very well. So that's what I will say. I think that was one of the biggest difference makers, was actually attacking the middle, so they can't just sit two safeties high and watch Deontay deep, watch Pickens deep, and it opened a lot. And the running game looked good as well too. Najee Harris finally busted through 99 yards, so he looked good, man.
Are they still frauds though? Are they an NFL playoff caliber team right now? Their defense is.
It's hard for me to answer that right now because I saw one game without this guy. I genuinely do believe in this offense. I do believe that the weapons are there.
They got the talent.
Exactly. It's not like other teams where it's like, they got to do it because it's 1-to-1 guy. No, it's 1 to about 5 different weapons. You know what I mean? That you can throw to. And it's so, like I said, don't want to touch on the quarterback, but I do think that if 423 yards can transition, and I'm not saying you're going to put up 400 yards every game. That's unrealistic. But 300, around that 300-something mark, and you're scoring points, I could see it. Minkah Fitzpatrick's going to come back healthy. That helps your secondary humongously. Your coach is one of the best in the leagues, I'm still not at the point where I think we go into Jacksonville, Kansas City. Those are the two big dogs I'm really naming off the top of my head that I don't think we win those in the AFC. But frauds, I wouldn't say frauds.
Okay. Well, look better, that's for sure. A big win, of course.
Yeah, no bad big win. For sure.
But the rest of the schedule will really tell tall tale here on what the Steelers actually are going forward, along with a lot of other teams that jumbled AFC or just that middle pack of the AFC. The Colts are a playoff spot right now. The Colts.
Yeah,
the Colts.
I know. The Texans just fell back out, I believe.
They'll be back in. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
That's because they gave a kicker the chance where they shouldn't have. More on that on Case of the Mondays, by the way, who has never made a field goal over 50 yards in his career and is 3 for 8 in the 40 range. And yet somehow they called him while he was on his couch. So will you come kick for us? So more on that later, though, on Monday Night Rants. People, stay tuned.
I will be
to that. All right, let's jump into Rants on the Street. You know what? I'm feeling good tonight. I'm going to give away a hoodie, but this time it's going to be a zip-up hoodie.
Ooh, okay. I like that better.
Better. And it's blue and has white strings.
For sure.
It has the MNR right here and
sure.
MNR on the back. Real sexy for everyone out there.
Drip.
Let's go, right?
All right. Man. Number one, we're going to start in the NFL. I feel like I've heard this team's name so much the last 3 weeks. We've talked about them a lot. Hopefully this is the last time I need to talk about them this season.
Don't say the Patriots. Don't say the Patriots.
Thank God, not the Patriots. But in the division, do the Buffalo Bills need to make a serious change this offseason?
What changed, though? Like, I think you look at the offense, they're still good. And by the way, Cook has been the best running back they've had there for a minute now. He's been really good, better than the Singletary-Moss combo we saw there. Although Singletary's like going crazy over there in Houston now, but
it's scheme.
Yeah, I mean, and you got the receivers. I like Shakir. Probably Gabe Davis is kind of a one-trick pony. Yeah, well, we saw what happened with him yesterday, but I think their biggest piece there is getting their defense back and healthy would be huge because they're decimated, absolutely decimated in injuries in that defense.
Yeah.
And it shows. Those guys I've never heard of. Some guy named Hughes was making tackles yesterday. I'm like, who the hell is that? Like, it is bad. And they were still able to sit there and go back and forth with the Eagles and absolutely dominated that game for a period of it. I think getting their defense healthy and just adding that one receiver. You need to add, I think Dalton Kincaid's going to be great. But you have to add that receiver that has that like Jordan Addison quality, and there's a lot of them in this draft. Imagine if the Bills got Troy Franklin from Oregon. You're automatically insane. And he may be able to drop that
Reasonable.
far where they are right now to get that receiver. And you're talking that'll make Diggs happy because he'll be open more because he won't be double teamed every time.
Yep.
And it just opens up a whole new world. So the only changes I think they need to make is they need to actually get another caliber receiver like what the Minnesota Vikings did.
Yeah.
You know, and just get their defense healthy. I don't think coaching changes and all of that. I mean, obviously you've already made the offensive coordinator change. That's all you need to do. Brady's fine. I'm not too worried. And they've had a lot of bad luck.
I agree. I 100% agree with you. I think that it's more of an overreaction people have to a record being what it is right now, with the team being the Buffalo Bills. I think that the Bills, man, just like you said, they've been really unlucky. I'm not going to say they've been good because they haven't. They've had some very squeak wins against the Giants and a couple more that I'm not thinking of. But I think the thing with Buffalo, we all know it, that Buffalo, lost everybody, just like you said. Their whole defense is out. It's Pro Bowlers. I mean, it's hard to win with that. I look at my team right now. The passing defense is horrible without Minkah Fitzpatrick. One player, Minkah Fitzpatrick, and it's not the same. And it's like, I can't imagine having all these people out, and so I think they've also had a tough schedule. They've played a lot of tough teams. Their division is tough. It's just the AFC in general is tough. Division's a little sweet. Yeah, we'll kind of throw that out there. But the AFC is tough. And I think that you bring everything back, you're fine. I agree with you. Add another receiver, add another threat. I don't know what the free agency is looking like for Buffalo. I don't know who's going, who they got to re-sign, whatever it is. I could definitely see a move on from Gabe Davis. I think you kind of already got the elevation of Gabe Davis. There's nothing more you're going to get from him besides the 50-yard bomb down the field.
Which teams have figured out.
Exactly. Which teams have figured out. I don't ever see Gabe running a lot of zigzags, slants, short middle stuff. So I think you go get you another route runner with Diggs. And
we definitely didn't see him run a good route yesterday. I'll tell you that.
And then he threw his hands in the air. So I don't know, man. I think Buffalo get healthy, run it back next year. People are still going to, even if Buffalo made the playoffs right now where they are, no one wants to play Buffalo as a wild card.
They're still tough. Yeah,
exactly. So don't break it up. Don't go trade Diggs or, overreact. That's not worth it. Not worth it.
I agree.
Yeah. All right. Number 2, this is the question about my quarterback.
Oh gosh.
We'll see, how you feel about this. I'm still iffy. But, do you think that obviously Matt Canada's gone? Do you think Kenny Pickett is still a concern for the Steelers, is still a concern for Mike Tomlin? This offseason will still be a concern. What do you think?
Yes and no. I think he's always was going to be a concern even when they drafted him, to be honest.
Yeah, he's concerned since day one.
Yeah. And he was always a project to see how he could, he always has the arm, but he hasn't really shown that arm off.
Yeah.
Since he's been drafted. That was his one thing with Pittsburgh, the university, not the NFL team. That
he was launching it to Jordan Addison down the field.
Yeah, he had that arm and hasn't really shown. But I think just give him a few weeks here. I mean, you just unleash Freiermuth. That you can unleash so much more just by a change of tempo, a change of offense coordinators, unleashing these under routes to open up the big routes, right? You have Deontay Johnson, you have George Pickens, you have Kenny Pickett. If I'm scheming a defense and see what Matt Canada has been doing, you ain't beating me deep.
Yeah.
Right? But he wasn't beating anyone short either. So now that they kind of see this kind of going into play here, that will unlock more deep, and we can see his arm in action. We can see Pickens get the ball more. Deontay Johnson when he's not fighting people in the locker room, and maybe open up a little bit more. And getting Warren, I love the fact that they finally too for the first time split them up.
Yeah, both of them
with Warren and Harris. It wasn't just Harris getting the first quarter touches and screw it. We should probably go to Warren now. They were both consistently going in and out. Great move, by the way, which I've been talking about they should do for a while. Yeah. And just see what happens. I think he's a serviceable quarterback. He's not going to be Justin Herbert. But he could be Alex Smith. And Alex Smith, man, that dude was in the playoffs consistently in his life on good teams.
Yeah.
So.
I agree with you. I think that, even as a Steelers fan, I'm definitely smiling more this week than this question was asked last week. But I will say that there's still simple stuff that I see that, I'm a little concerned about. The way he rolls out of the pocket, his pocket presence, he gets a little too flustered.
His awareness can use some work. I will be honest.
Exactly. He panics, and that's where that scares me a little bit. But I think one thing that you hit on the nail with why I think he can succeed is that Alex Smith type where, I mean, the Redskins, not so much, but, the Chiefs, yes. Kenny Pickett is in a great organization, and you're in an organization that probably, if you play, you do your job, they will not let you fail. You'll have winning records. You'll have people around you.
Mhm.
You have the support of one of the best fan bases in, the whole sport. You have the pieces around you to do stuff. And it showed yesterday. They started running plays and formations that I've never seen under Matt Canada. Kenny loves to roll out to his left. They gave him a lot of plays where it was this left read, roll out left, kind of something that just caters to him. And I think that's one thing that Canada was so stuck on, being in his ways and trying to make Kenny go to his ways, that doesn't work. So, I think right here in this schedule of 4 games or 3 games, you play these, besides the Colts, and they still are the Colts, you play these easy teams, go on a run, and confidence is everything, in these NFL players. And if Kenny, I think he threw a touchdown yesterday. Deontay had 3 feet down. Questionable call, whatever it was. But so let's say 278 yards with 1 touchdown. If you can keep going and doing that, then your momentum goes and you get more confident. And, so you can be an NFL ready quarterback. But that can all change like that. So, we'll see. I'm still 50-50.
All right. I kind of agree with you. I think it's more of his ceiling is Alex Smith, and that's ceiling.
Yeah, no, for sure. Sure. Yeah.
But that happens as a Pittsburgh fan. You should be ecstatic with like you said, the team you have around him. So
for sure. Yeah. Number 3, this one's interesting because they're on a run, man. Do you take the Denver Broncos serious?
You kind of have to now, right?
Yeah, the teams are legit that they've
now the Broncos still have to play the Chargers twice. They have to play the Chiefs again.
The Chiefs will not. No way.
They're in the playoff hunt. I mean, they're a better team than the Colts, and the Colts are in the 7th seed. So
I agree with that. I agree with that.
And the Chargers, the way they're playing, and the Raiders. Sorry, Raiders fans out there in Rantville, if that's a real place. Every time I look over, I see Justin Fields running for his life. So, but I mean, I can see them getting that 7th seed.
So could I.
And then making noise, and they're starting to play better. Russell Wilson's starting to realize he's not the same Russell Wilson he was, in Seattle, which is great. You're starting to see them. It's not just handing the ball to only Javonte Williams. They're actually getting P. Ryan involved and getting running backs involved. And the defense is playing way better than the team that gave up 70 to the Miami Dolphins early this year.
Yeah.
So
absolutely crazy. I think that's
the way the AFC is shaping up. I think they could make the playoffs as that 6 or 7 seed, and I wouldn't put it past them, especially when you got teams like the Browns and the Colts in there already right now that I don't think will make it. So on the door looking in, I think you got to take him seriously. And it is Sean Payton. He is a Super Bowl winning coach at the end of the day. He's a funny man, and as a movie really sucked. But Kevin James, Jesus Christ. But at the end of the day, you got to. But I don't think they're going to make a long run in the playoffs, though.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the nail. They're not going to make a long run in the playoffs. They're not capable of doing it. I don't think the offense is capable of doing it. They don't have enough splash plays. Their defense has been good, but we'll see how they do in the playoffs. It's a little different. But I do take them serious. I think that they've beat some serious teams, which is why I take them serious. But they're not going to beat Kansas City twice. I don't know what else is in that schedule. I don't think they beat the Chargers twice, even with the Chargers' struggles. I don't think they beat the Chargers twice. But they probably will squeak in. But they're a first-round exit. I definitely
don't give Brandon Staley so much credit, my friend.
I don't know. I just think it's hard. Divisional game. There will be something. I actually thought the Chargers off topic didn't play that bad last night. I didn't think they played that bad last night. I thought it was going to be much more of a blowout. I thought it was going to be about 40-10 with no Mark Andrews.
Okay, moving on.
Number 4, we'll go to the NBA. Completely switch gears. This is the one I kind of wanted to keep on the down low when we were talking about NBA earlier. Orlando Magic deep enough to actually make the playoffs or a run in the playoffs.
I believe they're 2 right now in the East. Are they 2 or 3?
They're the 2nd seed, yeah.
Oh, geez. But last year the Utah Jazz were 2 in the West. At this same point, we talked about the Utah Jazz. Are they deep enough to do this? The answer was no. I said no. I said maybe play in at most.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the East, not the West we're talking about, right?
Yeah, a lot more.
So I think they make the playoffs. I think they're still going to make the play-in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're going to be in the top 6. They are not deep.
Yeah.
They're not.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing way over their heads.
Mm-hmm.
They just happen to be in the East, but they're beating teams that they should get killed by. Yeah, they're playing great. But we said the same thing about Utah last year.
Yeah.
And again, like I say with NBA teams, I give it till Christmas. After Christmas is when I really start doing my evaluations of where I see these teams going in the season. And I was right last year, and I'll probably be right this year. So we'll see. A huge month in December for the Orlando Magic, and they're playing out of their minds. And yeah, they got some good young players that are playing great, but and they're not deep at all.
No, yeah.
And by the way, they're also not putting people away. They're winning close games and winning a lot of them. They're the opposite of the Chargers in the NBA. So play-in. What do you think?
I think play-in is the most reasonable answer. I think that they're going to be in the play-in. They're good enough to be in the play-in, especially in the Eastern Conference. But I will say, they can make the playoffs. It's a first round exit in the playoffs. Don't get me wrong. They're not going anywhere near the second round, but I think they can get out of that play-in game. I think there's teams that, in the lower sum of the Eastern Conference that are really going to start tanking. Pistons, Wizards, the Bulls might trade. The Hornets, questionable. Raptors should trade.
You just say the Pistons and Wizards are going to start tanking? They're already here, my friend.
They're just going to continue to go.
They're both 2-14.
So I don't know. I do think they have a pathway. And look, I think they're doing this. He's not a big player or anything like this, but Wendell Carter Jr. has been out. That's another addition that they bring back. That does help. He's solid, but they'll fall. Like, they're not going to be this 2 to 4 seed, right? Like we know
well, they were at 5-5 before they won the 7 in a row streak they're on now. So and remember, they were 4-0 to start the season, so then they went 1-5 after that, and now they're at set. So very streaky, So you don't like to see that type of, which is
I don't even know who's
exactly
doing
what
it.
The Jazz did last year.
Have you been watching this team at all? Like, who's doing it for them? Is it Paolo going off? I really have not been paying a lot of attention. Is it a team effort? Is Cole Anthony doing things? I always love Franz. I like Franz.
Franz Wagner.
Yeah.
It's been Paolo. Paolo's been really good. I think Jalen Suggs has been good. You got Jonathan Isaac as well.
Yeah, they got
really though. Besides, you have Baccaro. After that, it's just been a whoever can step up and play basketball, and they just have amazing games. I know you talked about Carter. Joe Ingles, I think, put up 5 threes. It's just insane. Like, these guys come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Look at this team and tell me that this is a playoff team. Ready?
Yeah.
Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, Anthony Black, who's actually got some starter minutes recently.
Yeah, he's been solid. Yeah.
Cole Anthony has been good. The other Wagner, Moritz Wagner, Jonathan Isaac, who has injury problems, but when playing is a really good player. Jalen Suggs, who's been good. Fultz, don't forget about Fultz. He's still there. Joe Ingles, Carter, Gary Harris.
See,
this guy's name is Admiral Schofield.
Yeah. That's crazy. He's straight out of Great Britain. That's funny.
No one else. Jet Howard's actually been getting some minutes as well.
That's interesting to see. Yeah, no, I mean, definitely not a top-seeded playoff team, 100%.
We were joking that they're the worst team in the NBA, but then
yeah.
But then the Wizards said, "Hold my beer, man." They're literally the worst team.
Yeah.
I just got a thing earlier that said Jordan Poole did what? I didn't even look at it. I was just like, I don't even care.
I don't care. Yeah. Jordan Poole hit a 30-foot shot, but they're down 60. So
I don't care. So they finally gave him some more minutes.
Yeah. All right, man. Number 5. This is another thing, kind of like the Bills, man. I feel like we've been talking about this a lot in the NBA world, but we'll run it back one more time. Will the Bulls get what they want for LaVine and DeRozan if they, involve them in a trade package, whether together or separate? will they get what they want in return?
It'll be a lot easier for Levine than DeMar, for sure.
100%.
DeMar looks towards the end of last year, he looked a little old too.
Mm-hmm.
He looks really old this year, man.
It's not the same explosiveness,
but he is.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. And he's had injury issues in his career, which kind of slowed him down in the years of Toronto. So they probably won't get much for him, but you're at a point now where teams, especially when they're seeing teams like Sacramento, and we said this about Orlando, Houston.
Yeah.
Some of these older teams may start to freak out. Be like, man, we need Levine, or else these younger teams are going to run all over us.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see him going to somewhere. Be interested to see what happens, and we're not going to mention it here because of what it involves, but with the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Josh Giddey situation, because if something were to happen where Giddey is like going back to Australia and not eating his Wheaties anymore,
yeah, no, 100%.
He may lose his cereal contract, and it's like, I'm like, who eats cereal? I'm like, oh, kids. Then I went, oh, that makes sense. But
put it together, huh? Tiptoeing, we're tiptoeing.
Yeah, the kids eat cereal. It makes sense.
I knew I was waiting for.
But then Levine would make a good, and they're loaded with picks that they got from the Clippers. Still, Levine would make a good
and talent to get rid of.
Levine would be a really good pickup for the Oklahoma City Thunder. So I could see that they don't want anything to do with DeMar. I think they're going to be stuck with DeMar or a straight cut and pick up after the trade deadline with him. That's kind of how I'm looking. Kind of like the Russell Westbrook situation last year.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the Bulls' best case scenario is actually finding a way to put. This is the Bulls' best case scenario. Nobody else's. To put those two in the trade package together. Because if you could put those two in the trade package together, you might be able to get that value with Levine and kind of extra off into DeRozan. Maybe more than going separate.
I could see that as like a just take the contract and
like just try.
But then he would immediately get waived.
Yeah, no, probably. Honestly, 100% probably. Yeah.
The Thunder would want nothing to do with him, but
yeah, for sure. But I mean, on the Bulls end though, like that would be ideal because you're probably going to get more in that trade than you would separately. I think. Who knows though? I don't know. I just think that
just eating his money would be the tough thing to sell.
Yeah, no, 100% for sure. But I still think there's teams like that would, like you said, the panic mode of
put him on the Clippers. He fit right in.
Yeah, he fit great in. The players that are at that end, but they still want one.
Yeah.
Throw them in there.
Just move Kawhi to center.
Yeah,
put DeMar DeRozan at small forward and see what happens.
But I don't know though, man. I think the Bulls are screwed. They've been screwed. They should have made this move last offseason. They should have made it last trade deadline, and they should have made it, a long time ago. So right now, take what you can get, and honestly, they're probably going to continue to wait because I don't know what they're waiting for, man. I really don't, So we'll see, but I don't know what kind of terms mean like what the Bulls want because Oklahoma City got so much for Paul George that it's like what do they want for Levine? Because there's a lot. So I don't know.
They're not going to be needing all those first round picks now, Oklahoma.
No, yeah, it's so crazy. That
they can make a really good trade for a player to come back and really help this team out now, especially if they lose their Australian down under player.
Oh man, yeah.
How many times could I just give it away without saying it?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to, end up on TikTok. So we gotta try to tread.
How you like your women down under? We're going to hell.
Oh man. 3 years under.
Give it a goog, people. Give it a goog. It's everywhere. Just be careful what you click on. You know what? You go to jail.
A lot of clickbait out there.
All right, my friend. Only because it's the first time we've ever had a question about this team ever in the history of Monday Night Rants. Orlando Magic.
Yeah,
why not?
Let's do it.
We've never had a question. We talked about the Broncos last year. We've had Kenny Pickett questions. We've had Bills questions. Then I think we had a Levine question already.
Yeah, we've had Bulls questions for sure, 100%.
Orlando Magic, welcome to the show, baby. Whoever answered that question, you get a brand new Monday Night Rants hoodie. It's blue. It has white. I'll be rocking it next week on the show. I'll let you know. It's really cool. It's a zip up this time. and
For
we'll
sure.
be giving it right out for you to rock out with your socks out.
Ooh, okay.
And my Nut Rants hoodie. Just make sure you ID them first, Josh Giddy. Oh, I just Dr. Seuss that.
You got a button?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I said we were going to mention it pre-show, but we somehow found a way to mention it at like
You got
3
it.
times in
If
subtle
we're talking
jokes.
NBA for more than 30 minutes, it's got it right. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, man.
All right, man.
Definitely shouldn't have taken videos with her. That's for sure. That's not a good look.
We're gonna end up on the
I don't know what they do in Australia, but that's not how we do things here in America. That's for sure. All right, man. Tell me when to find you. Obviously, at Better Thomas. Get your questions in for next week. We're gonna have a great one next week. It's gonna be. We will know what's going on in college football. So if you have any college football questions, bring them on. The NBA, obviously, college basketball, NFL, of course. Anything, everything. Bring them on. Thomas will weed through them, pick the best 5, send them to me, and we'll discuss.
Yes, sir.
All right. By the way, I'll be sending you one of those hoodies as well. So
For sure.
you can rock out with your socks out.
I was gonna text you later about it, but
I bet you're like, I want one of those.
Yeah. I was like, we'll
like
wait
that
till
meme of the guy behind the
till
tree. Like,
All right, man. It was good seeing you. I'll be watching.
All right, man. We will see you next week, my
Later.
friend. All right. That was Rants on the Street with Thomas Stevens. We're going to go into some college football after this break. Hopefully a little bit longer break here than last time. That was on me. I was sweating. I had to clean my face, take my jacket off, do a bunch of fun stuff there. It's 6-3 now in this enthralling game. DJ Moore is 7 for 48. That puts him at 11 point, in a PPR league. Trying to do math here. 11.8 points. I need like 4 more from him. We're 3 minutes and 35 seconds left in the third quarter. Minnesota has the ball driving over midfield. We'll let you know how that ends. When we come back, your boy, Tyler Heavy T Soto, will be joining me. We'll be talking some college football, big conference championships this weekend. Stay tuned. Best bets, 70%, coming after the break. Boom.
Of the NHL games, I had a conversation with Coupe A Fiasco yesterday when we were producing High Stakes, and he was talking about playing video games. And I, since he covers fantasy football, I said, "Hey, are you going to be getting the new Madden this year?" And he goes, "Yeah, I don't really play Madden. I play NHL." And that tells you, and it really does, that I do feel that the NHL game is better than Madden. I feel like Madden is overrated. The NHL game is so realistic. I don't know if you guys saw the trailer and all the new additions that they added to this game, but it really looks good. I tried finding all the games that I had of NHL, and I thought I had a lot. I only have 4 of them. And that's because I used to live with my my roommate and good friend who got me into hockey, and we would play most of it in his house. So he has most of the games, but I do got 21.
There you go.
I got NHL 18. We got Connor McDavid up there. NHL 12, I think, was the start of the new consoles for me. But the big one, the holy grail of NHL games, NHL 94 for the Sega Genesis, right there. Look at that. Look at that beautiful cover. Look at it. Looks like a VHS tape. That's how good this game was.
No, let me stop you right there. So people, VHS tape, if you don't know, it's this like rectangular black plastic with the magnetic tape on the inside. Tape's this big. You put it in something called a VCR. For a little while, there was something called Beta that didn't last too long.
Look at this cartridge. I mean, they're not cartridges anymore. They're either discs or those little memory cards. But man, that thing is thick, right? And
you don't even need a cartridge or a disc anymore. You can buy the digital version.
And then you got Ron Barr on the book. I mean, he used to be always in the intro telling you about the team and what was going to be happening in the game. So NHL 94 is by far my favorite game, sports game. I love that game.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Monday Night Rants on the Better Sports Network. at Better Network and all your favorite social media platforms, at Fast Alarm as well, at Fast Alarm and all your favorite social media platforms, at Edward Raus, at Heavy T on Air. By the way, shout out to all the Houston Texans fans everywhere, and welcome to Monday Night Rants. We are you, my fellow Houston Texans fans. We are you. After last week's big pick of Heavy T saying that he thought the Houston Texans would be in the AFC Championship game, he put that on Twitter to everyone's delight until the boink heard around the world this weekend.
Yeah, easily my most liked tweet ever, and I was not even intending it for it to be that. Now, don't get me wrong. I know I have a good chunk of followers from Houston because I lived there for 2 years. At the same time, I had never said anything like that had went that viral. So thank you, I guess. Let's hope it comes through, and let's hope I don't get freezing cold takes.
And by the way, we're really big Texans fans here. I love CJ Stroud.
I personally, I want to see
Nico Collins. I do too.
Yeah,
I
love Tank Dell. Tank Dell rules, dude.
Love Ryans as a coach. Like we said this on the show ad nauseum. So
shout out to Will Anderson on that defense too. Probably winning defensive rookie of the year. Dude's a beast. They
won the draft.
While we're they really did. While we're on the shout out accord, I want to give one shout out to my buddy Randy, who, if you were in our Guillency League, he
Bible
was
Bonkers.
Bible Bonkers. Yes. So me, him, and another friend of ours, we've been friends for about 5 years, and this is, I think, our second or third year of picking every single NFL game. We just do it for the hell of it. This dude, if the Vikings win tonight, would have went 15-0 in his picks.
This week?
Exactly. This week. He has called every single game correct. Called all 3 Thanksgiving games correct. Had the Dolphins on Black Friday. 11-0 in the Sunday slate yesterday. Absolutely insane. So
did he
unfortunately,
put real money on it.
Unfortunately, he did not. So he is regretting that decision. But
Randy.
14-0 in your picks. I don't care if you're doing it just for fun or if you're doing it for money. That is insane. Just insane.
What is Randy up to right now? Let's get him on the show. Let's stress out.
I have no idea. He might be working right now. I have no idea.
Good old
man. Bonkers.
He's good at picking who's going to win, just not good at picking fantasy players.
It'd be like that sometimes, man. It'd be like that.
Well, shout out to Bible Bonkers. Welcome back to the Guillotine League next year, I hope. All right, we're here. We're done. What a great weekend of college football, man. Wow.
Dude, the Iron Bowl game alone.
Oh, my goodness.
So
that game produces every year, man.
I'm sitting in the studio of my other job, and there's me on one side, and there's 3 people on the other side. And Milroe throws that ball. 4th and 31. 4th and goal from the 31.
Yeah.
A dime. Absolute dime when he needed it most. And you just heard me yell, "Oh my God. Oh my God, he caught it." And one of the other guys, "What happened?" I was like, "Alabama just won the Iron Bowl." He came back around, saw the replay. Stunned, dude. Absolutely stunned. I couldn't believe it, man. One of the greatest finishes I've ever seen. That game always has a weird finish. Just one of the greatest finishes I've seen. Amazing.
What is it, the walk-off field goal miss?
Oh, the kick six. Yeah.
The kick six. And then this was crazy.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm glad Alabama stayed alive, because after we get these picks in, I am going to show you my plan for chaos ensuing.
You want chaos right now? Another DJ Moore catch. It is currently Team Freitas 108.78, and I'm at 108.32. I literally need one more DJ Moore catch to be safe and not be eliminated. And knowing my luck, he's not going to see the ball the rest of the game.
We will see what happens.
One more catch, baby. Let's go. As you start the 4th quarter, it's still 6-3. But back to college football. And also, the Florida State game was fun for a while. Obviously, the game, Michigan and Ohio State.
Great game.
Was a great game as well. And just the Washington State game was off the rails as well.
Great game. Oregon State put up a good fight against Oregon in the last Civil War.
Did they? Did they though?
They tried their best. Hey, you know what? Georgia Tech for a minute even had Georgia on the ropes just for a second.
That's true. In the first half. So
just awesome college football.
And then Louisville losing to Duke.
Yes. The UK.
changing my mind a little bit maybe about the ACC championship game, which we'll get to, but
Oh,
we
no.
got to go in order here. All right. First up, the big one. Winner of this game, no matter what, is in the college football playoffs. I guarantee. Oregon, Washington. Now, in Washington early this year, a missed 3-point conversion and 2 missed 4-point conversions, really, by Dan Lanning, decided this game. And Oregon should have won this game. They had control in the fourth quarter. They blew it. And then they tried to go for the field goal instead of letting Bo Nix throw it down the field, which is weird. They lost. Oregon's playing like the best team in the country right now. One of them really should be top 4 as it stands over Florida State, but more on that later. Washington kind of winning games barely here, for a while, but still undefeated. What was going on at the end of that game with Penix in the helmet?
Yeah, I saw that. Interesting.
Getting walked off, but he was fine. I guess he was just crying. I don't know. Whatever.
Smiles
Minus
through it all, man. Can't believe
9.5 right now. Minus 9.5. Oregon, obviously neutral site in Vegas. I don't like this spread. I really don't. I don't want any part of it. But I'm looking at the 66.5 here as more as my favorite bet. But if I had to pick the spread, and what are we at? 62% of people on Washington right now. That makes me, if I had to, and I don't like betting on my teams, I would take Oregon minus 9.5.
I am taking Oregon minus 9.5 and the Oregon money line as well.
Well, the money line, obviously. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess that's the point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you're picking one or the other, just you got Oregon money line, check it, or Oregon spread, check it. I have a gut feeling that this is going to end up being
The USC Oregon
champion.
championship game of a few years ago, where Oregon just came in and absolutely crushed them.
Yeah, I think I think boat race might be a really good way to put this. I think Oregon didn't forget what happened last game.
Yeah,
And they have been steamrolling opponents to the point where it's not even close for most of these games. They've just been absolutely killing dudes. I'm going to take Oregon to win outright. And thus, stage 1 of my chaos plan is complete.
minus 9.5. I'm taking the minus 9.5 as well. Oklahoma State, Texas. Minus 13.5. 55% of the public is on the minus 13.5 for Texas. Oklahoma State still don't know what to make of this team. They lose to a Division II school. They beat Oklahoma in Bedlam. Then they lose the week after to a crappy school. And here we are. 13.5. I kind of agree with that 55%. I think Texas will steamroll Oklahoma State. Although I wouldn't be surprised if Oklahoma State does keep it close in the first half. DJ Moore just dropped a pass, and now they're up 9-3. Okay. What do you think here?
I'm actually going to stay away from the spread on this game. I think 14.5 is a lot. I think it's a little too much for my liking.
It was 13.5. Now it's 14.5.
Yeah, it's 14.5. That's a little too much for my liking. Keeping that in mind, we're going to go over to the money line and Texas all day.
Yeah. Sprinkle some on Texas at minus 650 though. No value there, but
yeah, I mean, if you're throwing it into
parlaying all the games,
yeah. If you're parlaying it, yeah, it's just I don't know. The 14.5 is a little too rich for me. Just because Oklahoma State is so inconsistent.
I really like the 55.5 over under on this game, and I'm taking the over.
Yeah,
that's my favorite bet on this game.
I think the over is a safe bet, but I'm trying to remember. It was not. I don't think it was last year, but 2 years ago, the Big 12 championship was Baylor, and I cannot remember who the other team was. And Baylor was favored by a lot, Baylor was a huge underdog, and whoever their opponent was supposed to wipe the floor with them, and Baylor ended up winning. And
I think that was Texas, wasn't it?
It was Texas or Oklahoma. It was one of the two. It very well could have been Texas.
I think it was Texas.
Yeah, I could just because of that. It's a little too close.
But I do like the over in this game for sure.
Yeah, over this game for sure, but I'd say hit the Texas money line.
Here's where you're going to cause chaos here. Georgia minus 5.5 versus Alabama in the SEC championship game. Alabama getting 55% of the public on their side to cover. Where you going here? Where you going?
This one is tough. I'm not going to lie. This one is tough. I think now I'm betting with my mind here. Trying to keep my heart out of it.
Okay.
Because my heart wants chaos, and I will explain that.
I know.
But my mind, I would take Bama plus 6.5, but Georgia to win. I think
Close
that's where I
game.
go here. Yeah, I think it's a close game. I think I also take the over at 54.5.
Ooh, the over at 54.5.
It's close. I think I take the over.
Yeah, so you're looking at 25, 28, 28. Ooh, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence on that one as well. I think this game will be kind of low scoring, kind of testing waters of each other.
It's possible, yeah. At least for the first half, but I could see the second half they just unleash.
Yeah, I Alabama, like, again, barely winning the Iron Bowl just this year. Wait, they lost to Texas, right? Alabama?
That's their one loss, yeah, to Texas.
Yeah. So that's interesting as well. But they've also barely squeaked out a few wins. Seeing the -6, he could get it at -105 right now. I'm kind of taking that towards Georgia. I think Georgia just knows that, hey, maybe we're on upset alert a little bit. We want to make sure we solidify our place in the Final Four. I like Georgia -6.5, but really, to be honest with you, this is the one game I'm not touching at all. I don't like the line. I don't like the total. I'm just kind of like, because you made a great point for over. I made a great point for under. A touchdown seems like I'm probably not going to touch this game and just kind of see what happens, because this will be the game that could cause the most chaos.
Yeah, this is the one game where let's say you parlay these picks. This is the one I'm not parlaying in it. I'm betting this one separately by itself.
Yeah, it's just too close to call on every aspect of the lines and the overs and all that good stuff.
Agreed.
This one's fun. The Big Ten Championship, which should be Ohio State and Michigan again, people. It should be. But for some reason, this conference is stupid. And Iowa is here. -22.5 as of this morning. Iowa, 62% saying they cover that against Michigan, with Michigan's a 22.5 favorite. The over-under, in case you're wondering, because everybody is here, as Iowa goes on this incredible run of the lowest unders streak ever in the history of college football, or sports at that matter, is 34.5, with the spread being 23.5. That means that Vegas thinks that Iowa is going to score 9 points at most against this Michigan team.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be real. I was doing this game yesterday, so I was looking at it, and I was looking at it on FanDuel, and I got to the part where it's home total points, away total points. Iowa is the home team in this game.
Well, it's
over under
Lucas Oil Stadium, though. It's not.
Well, yeah, but I mean they're technically the home team. The over under for them is 6.5. 6.5. That is disgusting. 6.5 is the over under for the home team of the Big Ten Championship.
Yeah, what do you?
I hate Iowa so much.
I do too. Obviously, they've been on Case of the Mondays. We talked about how terrible this team is to watch. They're not fun. They aren't fun. What I'm going to say is this. I'm taking the under of 34.5. I think this game is going to be 31-0 Michigan. Like maybe 28. You know, Michigan hasn't been putting up crazy points lately either. I think this game goes 31-0, 28-3, one of those type of games. Because Iowa does have a good defense. That is no joke. An interception here. Come on, DJ Moore pass. I see one. So I like the under here as my only bet that I'm taking on this game, because it doesn't surprise me, but I think Michigan wins, obviously. But the under of 34.5.
Michigan wins. Get the D to your house. Bet it on -23.5 Michigan. Just do it. The D to your home.
They'll win by that much?
This is a joke of a game, dude. I mean,
Yeah, it is.
Michigan is.
This will change next year, by the way. This is the last Big Ten championship in this format. So,
that and because of all the additions of basically the entire Pac-12 going over to the Big Ten. So there's that as well. So this will definitely. This is the last time you'll probably get a disgusting matchup like this. But I mean, for Iowa to win this game, it is literally going to take an act from God himself.
It's true.
Would have to literally put his finger down, break through the almighty atmosphere and the roof of Lucas Oil Stadium and put his finger on the field. That is the only way Iowa wins this game. There's
no chance. There's zero chance.
I don't even know what to say. If Iowa wins this game, what would I do? I don't even know.
We would just quit. I'd quit my jobs and go work at McDonald's. That's
you know what? I'll be real with you. If Iowa wins this game, and God is my witness, I will say this. If Iowa wins this game, I will quit this. I will end this as my career, and I'll go back to working retail. That'll be my life for the rest of my life.
Where retail?
Lids was pretty cool.
Lids, just to be Lids.
Yeah, something sports
a Lids employee for the rest of your life.
Yeah, something sports related. Let's do that. Maybe work my way up to management or something.
Well, hook
yeah, no, that's how confident I am. Iowa's not winning this game. Stop it.
Yeah, no way. The under for sure. The ACC championship game, Louisville, Florida State. Florida State favored this one without their quarterback Jordan Travis, -2.5. Louisville after that incredible loss, really, to Duke, +2.5. The public on this one is actually on Florida State, almost 60% at -2.5, which I thought is surprising. I like Louisville to win this game. I'm taking the Louisville money line.
Yeah, I'm taking Louisville money line
+118 right now live. Oh, why couldn't that be DJ Moore? It was Mooney.
Louisville +2.5 as well. The over, I'm probably taking the over 48.5.
I do like that.
Yeah, I'm probably taking that as well. I think Louisville just basically wins this game.
I'm not even taking the. I'm not even going to waste my time with +2.5. I'm taking the +118 money line as it stands.
Yeah,
I think they win. Florida State just gets finally okay. We're done. We can just get them out of here. I don't think the committee wants to deal with undefeated Florida State right now because they know they'll get absolutely demolished.
I mean, there's that, and I think Louisville. That was a pretty bad loss to Kentucky. Now, Kentucky's not a terrible team. They're a good team. They're not terrible.
Kentucky, not Duke. My bad. Sorry.
Yeah, but that's a bad loss at home. Now, lucky for them, they're not in any kind of play because they have 2 losses. They're not in any kind of playoff talks whatsoever. They probably, even if they beat Florida State and only had 1 loss, they wouldn't be anyway.
Yeah, true.
So I guess you could say they could afford to lose right there, but it's still a bad loss. You're going to want to avenge that. You're going to want to show, hey, we're better than Florida State. They'll come out. They
should be. They should be.
They should be.
The defense of Louisville is no joke, actually. They have one of the best defenses in the country. So what happened last week was surprising. That's for sure.
Yeah. But it do be like that.
And I believe Justin Fields just fumbled the ball and Minnesota got it back.
Oh, God. This is a barn burner of a game. We love to see it.
So if they score a touchdown, which I need, then DJ Moore. Oh, dude, I'm like, I need less than a half a point to win and not get eliminated from the Guillotine League from DJ Moore. Less than a half a point. It's embarrassing.
I'll tell you what. I'll make you feel a little bit better by showing you my plan for chaos. How this is going to happen. Okay.
Oh, who makes the college football playoffs? Right? You ready to go?
Yes. So this is what I was saying. I am betting with my mind. However, my heart wants to see this little chart right here. Okay. So this is what I want, or this is what I need to happen. I need this.
You put a Word document together that says Tyler's plan for chaos.
Tyler's plan for chaos.
With chaos.
Oregon beats Washington in the Pac-12.
That's gonna happen. Likely, yeah.
Alabama beats Georgia in the SEC championship. Very good chance this happens.
Yes.
Texas beats Oklahoma State. I think besides Michigan, this is the most locked game, I guess you could say. Texas beating Oklahoma State in the Big 12 championship. And then Louisville beats Florida State in the ACC championship.
Okay.
If all 4 of these things happen, these are the standings. You have Michigan overall, guaranteed spot. They'd be number 1 in the country, 13-0.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia, Washington, Oregon, Bama, Texas, and Florida State would all be tied at 12-1. Mm-hmm. And then you have little Ohio State, which I'll give them a participation trophy. They show up on. They would be 11-1. They would not be getting in. But they're
Last
just
year they
happy to
got
be
it
in.
after losing, but not this year. Yeah.
Now, my prediction: if this happens, if these are the final standings we get, my prediction is this: Michigan number 1.
Oh.
Oregon number 2. Texas 3, Alabama 4. Now let me explain.
Georgia. Well, Texas beat Alabama, so that makes sense.
Yes. So let me explain. Georgia has not really played anybody all year. And yes, I'm aware they played ranked teams and they beat those ranked teams. But they've also struggled against some really bad teams. They're just kind of inconsistent. If Alabama beats them, you have to put Alabama in. And this current playoff committee, they value championships and they value championship wins. If Georgia does not win this game, they are gone. And Bama comes in at number 4. Bama is number 4 only because Texas beat them earlier. And if Bama gets in and Texas wins this game, well, you can't put Bama in without having the team that beat them also in. So because of that, Texas ends up number 3. Oregon will end up number 2 for nearly beating Washington the first time. And that's their only loss. And if they come into this game, which I predict they could boat race them, they have to be the clear-cut number 2. So Georgia would drop out because no championship win. Washington drops out for the same reason. Florida State, even if they win their championship game, I don't think they will, but even if they win it, you can't. I'm not putting that Florida State thing in. I know they had a great year.
Yeah,
congratulations. If you put them in, they will get killed.
The ACC was absolutely terrible this year too. Like they're
you can't. You can't. They're missing their star quarterback now. If remind me his name, I'm drawing a blank. It's Jordan Travis, right?
Yeah, Jordan Travis.
I get him and Jaden Daniels mixed up just because their names are somewhat similar.
They're both transfers.
Yeah, if Jordan Travis is still here, then okay. I see the argument for putting Florida State in the top 4. He is not there. His college career is done. Florida State, even with the win, I feel they drop out. So my final 4 would be, if chaos ensues, Michigan, Oregon, Texas, Alabama. Michigan would play Bama, which I think would be a very good game. Yes. And Oregon would play Texas, and this would also be a very interesting game. I feel like this one would be a shootout. So there you have it. Tyler's plan for chaos.
I like that a Word doc here. I love this.
Yes, official Word document. This is official.
Tyler Heavy Tito's plan for chaos.
The only thing it's missing. The only thing it's missing is a notary stamp of approval. But other than that, yes, this is an official document.
I don't mind it. I think that'd be great. I don't think it's going to happen. I think even if Georgia loses, they're still in no matter what.
I'm telling you, man, even if Georgia loses, they're out. The committee values championships. If Oregon and Texas win their championships and Georgia doesn't, Georgia's gone.
They didn't value championships last year where Ohio State got that 4th seed. After losing to Michigan and not playing in a championship. Okay, got you. This is
this year.
Tyler's chaos plan for this year. Got
yes.
You. Okay.
Times change. Changes.
Or those years that Alabama did not win the championship and still made it too. But times are changing. You are right. I think it's going to go like this.
I think all 4 of these teams are really good TV draws as well.
Yes.
Yeah, Texas because they have Texas, Alabama because of the whole southern region. Also, you're telling me we could potentially get a matchup between Sark and Saban for the national title? That'd be pretty cool. Michigan, everybody's infatuated with the whole Harbaugh-Michigan situation right now. And Oregon is really fun to watch. This has TV ratings draw. It fixes your TV problem. Boom. Done.
Well, my final 4 are Georgia, Michigan, Oregon, and Texas.
Yes!
That's going to play out. I think Texas plays Georgia. I think Michigan plays Oregon. And I have Georgia and Oregon in the national championship, which is funny. Dan Lanning going up against his previous team, where the first time they played was his very first game in Oregon, where Georgia absolutely stomped Oregon. That first game of the season last year will be fun to watch. So that's what I have. So I like that. I don't think Florida State, I think they lose to Louisville. I think Texas slips in that 4th spot. I think Oregon's going to embarrass Washington enough where they say, okay, Texas is the better team here because they beat Alabama, and Alabama's going to keep it close with Georgia but lose. So that's what I got. What do you think? Good? Not as chaotic as yours, but
now here's an interesting thing that I will say, and I do not remember who said it, but I saw this on Twitter, and I thought this was interesting. The other thing that the committee really values, they value how you beat your opponent. Like, for instance, if you're playing a team that you're supposed to beat, they want you to kill them. Oregon barely skated by Texas Tech. Texas demolished Texas Tech.
Yeah, but do you count those games that are game 2 of the season in Texas Tech when you're still evaluating what's going on? You know, it takes a few weeks here. Remember when we thought that Colorado was the best team in the country?
I mean, look, real ones knew that was that. Okay, that's a whole nother rant for another day, because ESPN just continuously pisses me off with how they overhype the stupidest things. So just like I said, another rant for another day. Not getting into that because that's a whole wormhole. But I'm just saying, just keep that in mind. If it comes down to those two, keep that in mind.
Texas and Oregon?
Texas and Oregon. I don't see a situation.
If Oregon wins, they're in. If Oregon loses, they're out. It's that simple. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't think it's going to come down to Texas and Oregon at all. If Oregon wins, they're in. If Oregon loses, they're out. It's that simple.
Now,
it's that plain and simple.
If for some weird reason it does come to that, just keep that in mind, man. Just keep that in mind. We'll see after Saturday. Saturday's going to be a great day. Beautiful.
Saturday's going to be a lot of fun. And Friday night. Don't forget Friday night, the Pac-12 championship game as well.
Pac-12 Friday.
They want their own money, man. They want their own money. This is the last year. They want
their own money, and look at that. Now they're dissolved. Okay. How did that work out?
not very well. That's for sure. There you have it. There's a Tyler Heverty's straight chaos journal. You should just write a blog that's just Tyler's road to chaos or something.
You know, I might just. You know, I've been meaning. You know, I might do this in the new year. I've been meaning to do this. I think I'm actually going to set up like my own personal TikTok and just kind of put this stuff on it just for fun.
See what happens. I could help you with that too.
Oh,
let's do it. Let's get it going. Let's get a heavy tea TikTok of just your chaos.
I mean, I have the TikTok profile there that I rarely use. I could put some videos on it. Also, I think there's a second random ball in the field of play.
That happens.
Or that could be. Oh no, Eberflus just tossed the challenge flag like he's a madman. So.
Oh, because of the drop by Brandon Powell right there.
Yeah.
Oh no, man, it's not looking good. This will be one of the. If I don't get another touch from DJ Moore, this will be the worst way to go of anybody this year in the Guillotine League by far. I need some sort of stat change tomorrow to help me here. I'm also literally down by 0.5.
I'd like to point out one thing that also has me infuriated with the NFL. And you know what? I'll tell you what. Did you have anything else that you wanted to talk about besides college football?
No. We were going to do a break and then do What Say Ye Heavy Tea.
Okay, let's do the break. We'll do What Say Ye Heavy Tea because I have some thoughts on the NFL, and then there's the officiating, but also the scheduling. I have some thoughts here.
Okay. But I saw in a commercial that Amazon, whatever, does the scheduling and helps them out solve thousands of... I saw that commercial, man.
Yeah, well, you know who leads Amazon? Jeff Bezos. And you know what he is? He is bald. And I have one saying. Do not trust the bald. Okay? Yes, I'm aware. Don't give it. You still got some hair back there, okay? You're not fully bald yet. You're still somewhat trustworthy for now. But do not trust the bald.
But I'm slowly losing my trust, right?
You're slowly... Look, there's going to come a time where there's one hair left on your head. And when that thing drops... This partnership is done.
That's my end. We're done. We're no longer friends.
We're done. Do not trust the bald. Do not trust the bald. And with that, I think it's time for a commercial break.
Let's take a break. When we come back, let's say you heavy tea. Case of the Mondays, we'll close it out. See you soon, my fellow Raptors. Balloons again.
Balloons for not trusting the bald. Let's go. The Bears have to be one of the most inept franchises of any sport I've ever seen in my entire life. And they share the city with the White Sox, who are also inept. Like, that is how bad the Bears are. I just don't understand how you can go your entire existence and the quarterback that wins you a Super Bowl is Jim McMahon. You couldn't find anybody else
They
You
don't.
had-
They don't have a good history with quarterbacks, and they let him be the
You
quarterback
had-
for a long time too.
Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes right there.
Mhm.
And you drafted Mitch Trubisky. They were right there. I there's a lot of pain in being a Falcons fan. The Bears are one of the teams I could argue they might have it worse, and they have a Super Bowl.
And
When the best quarterback in the past 50 years is Jay Cutler, you have a problem.
That's so funny that you just said that. We were talking about Jay Cutler the other day, me and my friend, and I was like, yeah, he was on, because we were watching the Colorado Rockies game against the Giants, and it looked like he was behind the thing. I was, yeah, well, he played for Denver most of his career. We looked it up. Chicago let him be their starting quarterback way too long.
Here's the thing too, is that Jay Cutler wasn't bad. Like, he was erratic. He wasn't terrible though.
The poor man's Brett Favre.
I'm taking him over Justin Fields. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I would.
But
yeah.
Jay Cutler led that team to an NFC title game.
Yeah.
That they lost to Green Bay. But he's gotten farther than anybody else. You want to know who the other starting quarterback was for the Bears in the other Super Bowl appearance they made? It was Rex Grossman. What are we doing out here? It was Rex Grossman and Kyle Orton was the backup. How are you that bad? Bro, like, oh my God. Listen to the top 5. According to Football Reference, the top 5 greatest Bears quarterbacks of all time. Jay Cutler, number 1.
I can't believe it.
Sid Luckman, who last played in 1950, is number 2. Jim Harbaugh is number 3. Jim McMahon, the Super Bowl winner, is number 4, and he played there for 6 years. And Mitch Trubisky,
no way,
is number 5 on the list as terms of passing yard go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Monday Night Rants, all the best sports ever got better. Now we're on all your favorite social media platforms at FastStar, but all your favorite social media platforms at Edward Raus, at Heavy T on air, all your favorite social media platforms. You've heard it already 4 times. You should know it by now.
That was somewhat impressive.
Yeah, just get it done. We want more time with what say ye, Heavy T, in case of the Mondays. You know what I'm saying? You know that the Pastronaut has thrown 4 interceptions in this game. 4.
Man.
For Josh Jobs, and here he is about to they could get a field goal, but I hope they score a touchdown, so they have to throw it to DJ Moore. That's what I need.
True.
DJ Moore's going to be the death of me, isn't he?
Potentially, yes, but that's your own fault for taking the Bears.
Yeah, and also, can we do a new Monday Night Rants commercial or break video? I think we've run that course of that one.
We'll see what's up. I'm running on fumes here, but we'll see what's up. We can find
it. Can still be about the Bears.
Like, trust me, it's good. It's just really hard to find something that's not dated almost immediately. So, because I mean, it's a weekly show. We talk about what happened the week before, so it's a little tricky sometimes to find it. That's a hell of a catch by TJ Hawkinson.
Touchdown, baby. DJ Moore, one more catch. DJ Moore. One more catch. Let's go. I'm not going out without a fight.
Finally, a touchdown in this barn burner of a game. But
we got so unlucky. Well, last week was great with the Chiefs Eagles, but
last week was great with the Chiefs.
Oh my God, we've had a bad year. This
leads me to what I was kind of hinting at with the break, with the scheduling issue.
Okay, should I do the intro?
Yes, please.
Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. Ladies and gents, it is time for What Say Ye, Heavy T?
Literally, the only thing that's missing is like a bard just coming in with like one of those guitars. So like that'd be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool.
Next week.
But here's my beef. Okay. There has been one game this entire season so far that has been flexed out of its original position. And that game is next week's game between the Texans and the Broncos. And the reason being is the Texans are good and the Broncos also got good. They were originally slated for the afternoon slot. Philly and the Niners play in the afternoon slot. So the NFL didn't want to have 2 good games in the afternoon slot because they want all the eyeballs on Philly and San Francisco. So they flexed Houston and Denver to the morning slot. That is the only flex we've had all year. What the hell?
They just moved them from the afternoon
to the morning. What the hell is going on with all these horrid primetime games? Why are none of them being flexed out? Next week, I don't want to see Jordan Love. I understand it's Patrick Mahomes, and I understand you got to get your money, the whole Travis Kelce in there. I don't want to see Jordan Love in primetime TV. Next Monday night, it's Bengals Jaguars. The second Joe Burrow got hurt, there was still 2 weeks before that game. The second Joe Burrow got hurt, that should have been flexed out. I don't want to see that game. That game sucks. Okay,
that means more talking for us next Monday night, like tonight.
Yeah, and I almost feel bad saying that because don't get me wrong, the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence absolutely deserve a Monday night slot.
Yeah,
but the second Joe Burrow got hurt, should have been flexed out. That's just for next week. Now, next week, thankfully,
they can flex Sunday, not Monday, right?
I don't know the ruling on that. I'd have to double check. So I don't know the ruling on that. But I saw a tweet earlier this week that said there's going to be a game, one of these Thursday night football games, because Thursday night football on Amazon was Black Friday this week. And that game was awful. Okay. Now there's going to be a game. I saw this tweet. There's going to be a game where Al Michaels just gets up and leaves the booth. And someone quote tweeted that with week 14's amazing matchup between the Patriots and the Steelers on Thursday Night Football. So I get to see whatever Walmart cashier they trot in for New England at quarterback versus small hands Kenny Pickett. I don't want to watch that. I am not going to watch that game. That game is terrible. Okay?
That's a terrible game. Yeah, I don't
now,
want. Malik Cunningham may be the quarterback for the Patriots by then. We'll see.
Now that Sunday night game, I will give them this. The Sunday night game is very good. Eagles Cowboys. For once, both teams are actually really good.
Yeah, that's
an intriguing matchup. But
I am safe. Sorry, people. That means a lot to me. All right, keep it going. Sorry.
But then we have next weekend, or next week, I should say. Can we stop doing these Monday night doubleheaders?
Oh, no way. We're doing another one?
What do these accomplish?
Wait, is that on Christmas, though?
That is on December 11th. So 2 weeks.
Why are we doing a Monday night doubleheader on December 11th?
Week 14.
Why are we doing
and it's barn burners of a game, too. Packers Giants, because I want to see Tommy DeVito on my TV screen.
Hey.
If I wanted to watch that, I just watched The Sopranos, which I am. It's a great show, by the way. And then 1 hour after that starts, get ready for the barn burner of Titans Dolphins.
Oh God.
What are these? What is that? What is that? The week after that, Thursday Night Football, Chargers Raiders. That game's going to be great. Well, don't want to see that.
It'll be that's actually an even matchup where it could be a good game.
Don't care. Don't want to see it. 2 losing teams are not going to the playoffs. No offense.
Oh,
the Sunday night game for that week also very good. Ravens Jaguars. That'll be a good one.
That'll be good.
But the Monday night game. Why are the Patriots in primetime TV?
No way. That's going to be flexed out.
Chiefs, Patriots. I do not want to see that.
That's a Monday night game?
Why is it going to stay in? Is because Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce are on TV. That's why that game's going to stay on TV.
That's a Monday night game?
It is Monday night, December 18th.
What are we going to do that night, too? We'll just bring back.
I have no idea.
Bring back Make the Cut. Let's just do Make the Cut every month.
Maybe we'll do Make the Cut. And then the week after that, Thursday, December 21st, Saints Rams, because Derek Carr, why not?
Hey, both those teams are in a playoff hunt, though.
No, Derek Carr sucks. They're not doing anything, okay? They're not doing anything. And then that Sunday night, Patriots again in primetime.
Oh, my God. That will be flexed Broncos. That will be flexed. 100%.
Disgusting. I won't bring up the Monday slate because that's Christmas Day. We get 3 Christmas games, so I won't even bring that up.
We will be off that Monday. We will not be.
We will be
not
off
have a show. Yeah.
And then Thursday, December 28th, my birthday. What am I blessed with? Jets Browns on Thursday Night Football.
You're a Christmas baby.
I am a Christmas baby, and I got to be watching PJ Walker on Thursday Night Football versus who knows who the Jets have.
Maybe Aaron Rodgers may be back by then, though.
Bro, he comes back and Myles Garrett is going to kill him. Okay? By the end of the first quarter, I'm getting Zach, whoever the other quarterback, what was his name? Zach Boyle. I'm getting a combination of the two. By the end of the first quarter, just get Zach Boyle.
Oh, by the way,
then,
Joe Flacco may be the quarterback for the Browns by then too.
Oh God, that'll make my birthday special. Like I care about that. And then the Thursday night game for that, or the Sunday night game for that week, Packers Vikings. Why is Jordan Love on my TV screen?
Ooh, that could be a big game though. The way this is played, I like that.
Not now. The scheduling is disgusting. Why are we doing this? Why are we subjecting my eyeballs that pay for Sunday cricket? Also, God bless Scott Hansen for not leaving that fire alarm yesterday.
That was crazy, right?
But why am I paying money to consume this content that is horrid? And that leads me to my next point. The officiating. What the hell was that during Bills-Eagles yesterday?
Yeah, that was rough.
That was awful. That is one of the most blatant horse collars I've ever seen in my life. Josh Allen's jersey is ripped. The ref is staring right at it. And we're just not calling it?
Well, last night too in the Chargers game,
yes!
Herbert was clearly out of bounds. That was a late hit.
He's out by like 5 yards.
Yeah, he was outside the white.
And who gets flagged? The Chargers for retaliating.
Retaliating, yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Cost of the game, you could say. No,
like
Brandon Staley cost of the game, but yeah.
Officiating has been putrid.
It's been bad, and
all season.
Warren Sharp does a really good job on his Twitter timeline of
he does
calling him out for everything, and
he does
something.
And on top of that, going back to the Bills-Eagles game, there was a point at the end of the second half where the penalties the Bills had 10, the Eagles had 1. I'm seeing holds left and right. False starts on the line. What are we doing here? What is this?
It's been bad this year. I'm not gonna lie, but that also because of the unders have a lot to do with the refs and what's been going on this year, and don't know what to call. Like so many times they just like let plays go. Like even yesterday when it was clearly Hurts was throwing it forward and they just let the play call. But then like 2 plays after with Josh Allen, he was like fumbling it and they called it incomplete. It's like what? Just be consistent. There's no consistency at all with the refs this year, from what I can see. Holding the underneath, holding the shoulder pads, and not calling it. But then it's been bad. And the roughing the passer this year has been absolutely terribly inconsistently called to a point where I've never seen.
It's like you say, be consistent, because if anybody breathes in Patrick Mahomes' direction, it's a roughing the passer call. But Tommy DeVito could go out there and get hit by a bulldozer.
Or Sam Howell, too. He's been hit.
Yeah, and there's no call whatsoever.
Yeah.
The consistency is disgusting. The officiating is disgusting. Tom Brady was right. The NFL it's not good. It's not a good product right now.
I kind of agree with that.
Ray Lewis would be shot in the street by Roger Goodell himself.
Whoa. We can't bring up Ray Lewis and we can't bring up Ray Lewis and guns.
He was never proven. Don't give me that. Never proven. Roger Goodell would execute him in broad daylight for the world to see if he played in today's game.
We don't bring up Ray Lewis and guns and Ray Rice and elevators, okay? That's not what we do. That one was proven.
Just that one was proven. Just don't. First off, don't hit anybody in general. Yeah. Second, we're just gonna leave it at that. Okay, we're just gonna leave it. You know what? I wanna change my tune, and I will make this really quick because I know we're up against the clock.
Yeah, I'm just glad you went on a tangent for so long. We don't have to talk about freaking wrestling. I'm so happy.
No, that's what I was going to bring it up. We are going to bring that up.
Oh no!
Because I put that in the description. So for anyone who actually read it or who clicked on the WWE hashtag I put in there, good for you. This is your moment to shine.
Okay.
So,
fellow Reds,
dude,
we're moving directions, baby. Let's go.
I'm a big wrestling dude. Okay?
We know.
The sight of seeing CM Punk on my TV screen in an arena where WWE show is taking place, I literally screamed at my TV. I never thought I'd see the day hell has frozen over. Pigs are flying, and I know this because I threw some bacon across the kitchen the other day.
Wait, what?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we're running a tight ship here. Let's go. Okay.
Why would you waste bacon?
No, I said I threw it to my brother who put it in the pan. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Just
Okay.
see, there you go. Efficiency. Run a tight ship.
Told you Thanksgiving at the Soto house is crazy.
Dude, that's another thing. But, dude, it was just it was considering everything that has gone on with him before, how he left WWE, how he was fired on his wedding day, how he had a lawsuit against them, how he goes to a rival competition, how he gets fired from that competition, and then he comes back. It's just, I never thought I'd see the day. I'm gonna be honest, I nearly cried. I'm a grown-ass man, and I nearly cried. Okay?
So he's the Geno Smith of WWE?
Bro, it was like watching Jesus come back himself. Okay, it was wrestling Jesus. That's what that was. Beautiful history making. It's going to be one of those things, and I kid you not, I remember exactly where I was. I will be like 10 years from now. I was sitting on my bed watching Survivor Series. His music hit. I screamed at the TV. A tear came down. I was screaming even flow for some reason. Like, dude, I don't know, dude. It's a time to be alive, man. CM Punk is back. Triple H runs this ship.
Even flow.
It is beautiful. It is a glorious time to be a WWE fan. I am pounding my table to try to get the point across. I have nothing else to say. I am so excited he's back.
You know what we should do?
Oh my God.
We should do a live, whatever, one of these Survivor Series or WrestleMania, whatever, a live watch party. Just get your friends, my friends, everyone in like this giant Zoom as we watch.
The next one is
I will know nothing.
Royal Rumble.
I will know nothing.
Royal Rumble in January.
I think that'd be a lot of fun. And just have like a live watch party online. We're all watching, and like you and your friends have to explain to me and my friends what the hell is going on.
I will say this. As far as the Royal Rumble goes,
even flow, man. Get that out of my mind. It's so random.
Look, man, just some days you got to build out Pearl Jam, okay? Anyways.
Great album, it's fantastic.
Great album. Great album. The whole 90s music genre. Another point for another day.
Yeah.
Real quick on Royal Rumble. I know they're putting this thing in baseball stadiums or in actual stadiums. That's fine. It's gotten to be that big of an event. That's fine. It's in Tampa this year.
Isn't it 2 nights now too, or no?
That's WrestleMania. That's 2 nights. Oh. So the Royal Rumble's in Tampa this year. And it's not at Raymond James Stadium. They put that thing at the Trop.
Ooh.
Are you serious, dude? That Stingray's going to be in center field. Like, what the hell's going on? Like,
but there are platforms that Sting. Stingrays. Can come down. See, I know some stuff. I know things, Heavy T. I drink and I know things.
All right. Tell you what, man. Finish up the show. Get us out of here. My ranting's done. I'm out of breath.
What say ye, Heavy T? We should call what yell ye, Heavy T. Always a blast with him, man. He's the best producer in the world. I can't ask for anything more. I know you love him. A little wrestling talk, man. We do everything here, Mike Narez. What can I say? Minute 31 left here. At midfield, Fields has the ball to go ahead and redeem himself, Dumb and Dumber style. However, he just threw a incomplete pass. So we're checking on that. But as we go, a real quick, and I'll be quick case of the Mondays here before we go. I know everyone looks forward to it. There's one I was unsure of, so I'm going to drop that one tonight. Why not? We're going to go ahead. Case of the Mondays.
Uh-oh. Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
You know what's the case of the Mondays today? Caleb Williams or Drake May. But I know, Edward, they're going to be the first and second pick of the NFL draft. But now they have to watch this Patriots team and this Panthers team and go, I got to go there. They're literally two of the worst set up franchises in the NFL right now. Nothing is going to go good for them for a few years. It is rough. The Patriots have put themselves to the place we thought we'd never see, where they are the bottom barrel of the NFL. No offense, no offensive line, no defense, no quarterback. Belichick's probably out, I would assume, even if he comes back. Still, why would you want to go there? Caleb Williams and Drake May possibly going to the Patriots. And Well, not the Panthers. The Bears, I guess, would be a better situation. Arizona. But Caleb Williams or Drake May possibly going to the Patriots.
Uh-oh. Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Buckeyes head coach Ryan Day is 56-7 at Ohio State. However, he has lost the Big Ten title the last 3 years. Not even made it to the Big Ten title because he's lost to Michigan for 3 straight years, the longest stretch in over a decade. He is the first coach since John Cooper to lose 3 straight games against Michigan. That's right. There's only been 2. And worse, he is 1-6 against AP top 5 opponents. AKA, you could beat all the crappy teams in the Big Ten, but you can't beat the good ones. And guess what? You ain't going to the college football playoffs either, my friend. Ryan Day in Ohio State.
Uh-oh. Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
We mentioned it earlier, then I'll mention it again. The Texans were on the wrong side of a win yesterday, 24-21, after C.J. Stroud did everything he could, Superman style, to bring them back for a field goal that could tie it and send it to overtime. However, Matt Amendola said, hold my beer. A 58-yard attempt, yeah, that's far. But he doinked it off the bottom to give Jacksonville control of the AFC South. I still believe in this Texas team. However, what are the Texans doing? In his career in the NFL, Matt Amendola has kicked for 4 different teams in 4 different years. He has never made a 50-yard field. Never. He's 3 for 8 from 40 and above. And yet, some reason, when their kicker, Fairbairn, got hurt, they called this dude while he was on the couch and said, please come kick for us. There has to be better. Matt Amendola, I'm sorry, buddy.
Uh-oh. Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
All right, my fellow ranters. We're a little late here, but hey, we go in Monday Night Rants extra here for a few extra minutes. I want to thank you all for joining this week. A lot of fun. A great show as always. Shout out to Thomas Stevens, Heavy T, everything that goes a part of this at the Better Sports Network, obviously Better Boss and everybody, everyone in the chat. I've been reading your chats all day. Sorry, we had a lot to talk about. Thank you for your fantasy football questions, your betting questions. Keep them up. I am on Facebook at Edward Raus. I get questions about fantasy and betting all day. I try to answer them all as fast as I can. It's been getting great stuff over there. New stuff coming out on Instagram from me as well, and maybe Thomas Stevens. More on that next week. There's going to be some fun stuff happening. And, of course, Heavy T here as well, doing some great stuff here on Monday Night Rants. We have 3rd down, and guess what? The Bears are in field goal range to win it with 51 seconds left. I got the points I needed from DJ Moore. I am safe. Team Freitas, you are eliminated from the Monday Night Rants guillotine. Your eulogy will be next week. One more week, baby. One more time I get to say this at least, and that is this. From myself, from Heavy T, from Thomas Stevens, everyone here at the Better Sports Network at Fantasy Alarm, we will see you next week on Monday Night Rants. The game may be bad, but we're always good. Love you all. Keep it up. Keep winning. And boom, shout out to Tosh McGowan for at least one more time.